Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. For those of you that have been following my series of videos, you know that I go to chess.com and I've been going through all their bots here and recording my games as I go. They do have a couple holiday ones out, Jack-o'-lantern and Pumpkin, so today at my lunch I thought I would battle the Pumpkin, which is rated 1000 ELO. The game ended in 37 moves. I played the black pieces, and this is how it ended. And let's review how I got there. And as always, I show my games just as they were played, and good moves, bad moves, whatever. And then I run my big fat mouth and all my vidges and talk about what happened. So open into a Sicilian. And here I want to show this. This F file is something to really be aware of when you start getting into chess. It's something that can get rid of that arrow. Something that can easily be attacked. So you should always be wanting to attack and defend. But watch out for that F file because look at this. If you're not paying attention to this, it's mate. That queen gets down here and it's mate. Just something to be aware of. So what I did to avoid that is I just pushed the pawn up and blocking that from happening. So if the bishop was to come here, that's fine. I'll be more than glad to take it. But at 1000, that's probably not going to happen. Okay, so let's keep this game going. There's a nice thread on the queen. Okay, now this... the computer says my opponent Pumpkin made a mistake with that movement. Yes and no. I mean, the computer absolutely knows better than I do, but there's a little bit of an advantage to having your queen in this file, and that is I really can't move this bishop because if the queen comes here, we'll just play it out actually. Let's just say that if I move this bishop, now the queen comes here, and I'm a little bit stuck because I can I could come here, but then there's this problem, and I could probably I'm pinned. I don't like this, and I lost the bishop, or I lost a rook. Sorry. So there's a lot of dangers to be aware of. Okay. So that is not what happened though, so let's get back to the game. Okay, so there, attacking this queen again. Now here, so early in the game, remember, control the center and develop your pieces. Get those pieces out there, get them developed. So now I'm in check and I have to deal with it. The computer is probably going to say this is the best thing to do, but if I capture with my king, I lose my right to castle later on, and I really didn't want to do that. So I took with the knight, yeah, and it says, okay, that was a good move, but it wasn't the best choice. Because most games, if they're evenly matched, only last about 42 moves, and if I go there and then come back again, I'm basically losing a turn, and I lost a little bit of my tempo. I've lost my development here. So I can see where the computer says that, but I want to encourage you, especially when you're playing a computer, try new things, just experiment around, find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and do what you're comfortable with. And so I really didn't want to lose my right to castle. That's the trade-off. So that's what I chose, and now I'm back where I started, as opposed to where I could have kept this knight developed. So it's a trade-off, but I can castle later, and I do. So there my knight's under attack by this pawn. So again, I'm just trying to control the center and get my pieces out there, playing good fundamentals here. This F file is a good place for your knight. It's a good defender for your king. And the future as it comes to the end game. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, and this I must have in this game, I think I had blinders to this white squared bishop because looking at the game right now, I wanted to Fanchetto and get out there and control this. Whoops, diagonal. I wanted to control this diagonal. But if I would have went here, and I probably should have, this move was fine, but I definitely missed the better move here. And that is, you know, over here, if I would have, you know, done a Fanchetto, I could have, look, I got two pieces lined up. One is a rook. This knight, if it gets out of the way, I'll pick up the rook. So computer says, hey, this was the better move over here. So anyway, I think I've got blinders onto this guy in the game. I think I ignore him later on too. Okay, so there's my Fanchetto. I'm lining up to take this rook, and we'll keep the game going here. Now I want to, the idea here is I want to fork this king and this, whoops, this rook, sorry. So that was my idea, is to get this bishop here to create this fork. Okay. And the king moves out of the way. Now I'm going to lined up to take the rook anyway, and that's what I do. Okay, and there's check. And I really thought there would be an exchange here. Oops, sorry, I can't draw my arrow straight apparently. But that's not what happened. So again, let's look at this move again. So I just got the knight out of harm's way, but again, this bishop would have been the better move. I did not see it during the game. I don't know why I continue to ignore my bishop. He's not even developed yet. Sometimes when I get up, like especially when I'm up a rook, I got both my rooks, my opponent's missing one. Sometimes I have a tendency to get a little sloppy, I confess, just because I think, oh, okay, I got this. And so a lot of times I'll ignore the better moves. So try not to do that. Learn from my mistake there. Okay, let's keep the game going here. I hate my knight being on the edge of the board like that because I control a lot fewer squares as opposed to if it's in the center. You know, look at the difference between these knights here. I got 8 squares versus 4. So, but that's okay. Getting it out of trouble. Still getting good development going here. So yeah, that was definitely a mistake on Pumpkin's part. So yeah, I take that. And at this point, I think, sheesh, maybe I'll end up promoting this pawn the way this is going. But finally, Pumpkin shuts me down. Okay. So at this point, I'm up a lot of material. Right here, computer says I'm up 15 points. So I'm just going to keep trading down. It's I kind of think of it like bushels of apples. If I have a bushel of apples and my opponent has a bushel of apples, and it's a contest where we're throwing apples at each other for some reason, if I can get it down to where I have 2 apples and my opponent only has 1 apple, well, you know, guess who's going to win? Whoever has the 2 apples. So once you get a larger count, just keep simplifying the game. Okay. And there, huzzah, I finally developed this bishop and actually get him into the game. Look at that. Okay. So again, like I said, I'm just getting down material while I'm up. Let's just keep changing out that material, because now look how many pieces I have on the board. I got 4 pieces to 1. So yeah, I'm going to keep that. I'll keep exchanging out. I'll even let, you know, this is a mistake. You're going to take my knight, but now you're going to have 0 pieces. You're just going to, my opponent is just relying on one of these pawns to promote. That's usually a bad strategy. You don't want to, if you're down pieces, don't do an exchange if you can avoid it. If you can avoid it, don't do an exchange when you're down. Okay, so that pawn could have caused me some trouble. It's a bit of an annoyance. Let's get him out of here before we go on any further. Now, okay. So yeah, the computer suggested going here for check, but yeah, I mean, it could have led something. I do own all this diagonal, but I have something else in mind that I'm about to show you, and this is what I wanted to do. So I'm a firm believer in building a box for my opponent's king that he just can't get out of it. I mean, right now, this is the only, ranks that my opponent has to go around in with the king. So my idea here is, okay, so this right here, I don't have to worry about these pawns anymore. I own all of this rank right here. And I own all of this file right here. This rook is protected by this knight. This knight is protected by this pawn. This king can do whatever it wants so long as it stays in the box that I created for it now, and so on. So now I can freely promote this pawn, and this king is stuck in this little box that I've created, and I'm going to keep making that box smaller. All it can do now is just hop around, and the computer says, hey, you could have moved your knight over here. Well, yeah, and there's probably some combinations there, but I just saw this. Now this, with the king being on this back rank here, I wanted to just go ahead and, I had a chance to make this box just a little bit smaller. Yeah, let's do that. Now the king can just kind of hop around on this back rank while I promote, and then it's mate. So now the king is stuck back here. Cannot come down because of this. So now it's just promotion, and then it's mate. And that's what happened because I own this and I own this. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope this helps improve your game. It helps me improve my game. I always make my games interesting and show good moves and bad moves, and I run my big fat mouth talking about all the various moves in all my videos. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.